This video explores Maxim's bot-related troubles. For troubleshooting Maxim's charging station, refer to one of the station troubleshooting videos. If Maxim is in trouble and needs your help, he will stop, and his trouble indicator will blink. Open the bObsweep app to see the issue and a step-by-step guide. Maxim's trouble messages are visible on the control page of the app. Tap on the trouble message at the top of the screen for more details. Once you are finished reading, tap OK to make the message disappear. If Maxim is having trouble with his left or right wheels, check them for obstruction and clean them. If Maxim is having trouble with his main or side brushes, remove and clean them. You may use tweezers to remove congestion from the brush ends. You can also use scissors or the cleaning tool to cut hair wrapped around the brushes. Clean brush components, including the main and side brush compartments and the main brush gate. If Maxim is having trouble with his EdgeReach side brush arm, remove the side brush and check for debris around the arm and clean it. If already clear, run the home checkup motor test. If Maxim is having trouble with his EdgeReach mop arm, it may not be able to extend or retract, or the right mop attachment may not move or rotate. Remove the mop attachment and check for any debris around the mop arm, and the surrounding area, then clean it thoroughly. If everything is already clear and the issue continues, run the home checkup motor test. If Maxim is having trouble with his dustbin, the dustbin can be disconnected, too full, or the vacuum motor is jammed or congested. Remove and clean the dustbin and dust the filters. Clean any debris in the vacuum motor's inlet. Wash or wipe the dustbin and air dry all parts completely before putting them back together. Wipe the dustbin container inside Maxim and remove any congestion that could be blocking the flow of air. Then reinsert the dustbin. It's recommended that you clean Maxim's dustbin often to avoid congestion buildup. If Maxim is having trouble with his vacuum motor or vacuum fan motor, remove the dustbin. Then remove any obstructions or debris from the vacuum motor's air vent and housing to allow free flow of air. If Maxim is having trouble with his bumper, check the bumper for obstruction and clean it. Tap and lightly press the bumper from end to end to ensure it can move freely. You may use a cleaning brush or compressed air to remove any congestion. If Maxim is having trouble with his edge sensors or the wall sensor, clean the sensors. If Maxim is off ground or tilted, reposition him so all of his sensors are on the ground and move him away from edges and stairs. If Maxim is having FloorSense trouble, wipe the FloorSense sensor window clean of debris and dust. Then power him off and back on to restart Maxim. If Maxim's LiDAR is having trouble, check the LiDAR for obstruction and clean it. Maxim's LiDAR is a sensitive sensor. Do not apply force, insert objects, or adjust the sensor. If the LiDAR is not clean and has lost visibility, clean it, and move Maxim away from mirrors, metallic surfaces, and close to a wall. You may use compressed air to remove dust. If LiDAR's bumper is having trouble, then the LiDAR bumper might have jammed. Check for obstruction and clean any congestion. If Maxim has battery trouble, his battery may be critically low or disconnected. Place Maxim on his charging station with his charging nodes facing the station's charging plates. Then slide him in until the LED light on the station turns off. This confirms proper contact. After a few minutes, Maxim will turn on and his battery indicator will start flashing slowly. If the issue continues, power Maxim off by pressing and holding the go button until he chimes and shuts down. Open the battery compartment and check that the battery is securely connected. Wait about 30 minutes, then power Maxim back on. If Maxim is reporting charging station location trouble, he may not be able to detect the station correctly. Carefully unplug the charging station and clean the transmission window on Maxim's back and station. Then plug the station back into the wall and send Maxim to charge again. Once Maxim docks, check to make sure the battery indicator is flashing, confirming the bot is charging. If Maxim reports being stuck, it is likely that his path is not clear or too crowded. Clear away any clutter or wires, open any door blocking his path, then place Maxim in the middle of the room and resume cleaning. Do not relocate Maxim's charging station once he's done mapping the house, or he can get disoriented. If Maxim is having localization or mapping problems, it is likely he is having an issue with the environment he's working in. Verify the active map on the bObsweep app and switch to the correct floor map Maxim is on, then place Maxim in the center of the room and resume cleaning. If the issue continues, erase the active map. You can first save it to keep a copy of this map for future access, and let Maxim remap the floor by hitting Swift Map. Then, make your map modifications and use the map menu to save this newly made map. This way you can load the saved map into an active map if Maxim ever has localization or navigational issues again. If Maxim is having settings trouble, this means that the settings on the app don't match Maxim's. As a result, Maxim may skip cleaning some rooms where the incompatibility exists, or he may skip cleaning altogether and return to his charging station. Check Maxim's map on your phone and make the necessary adjustments to make it possible for him to complete his tasks. For example, if Maxim is required to vacuum a certain room, make sure the room or the path to the room is not blocked by a no-sweep zone on the map. Or if Maxim is required to mop a certain room or area, make sure both mop attachments are connected to Maxim before the scheduled mopping session. If Maxim is having trouble with his mop attachments, remove the mop attachments and clean the magnetic connection points on the attachments and on Maxim. Also, make sure both mop attachments are correctly installed, as Maxim will not be able to mop with only one mop attachment installed. The left or right mop attachment also may not be able to move or rotate. Check for debris around the rotating mop and clean it. Rotate the mop attachments in and out a few times to ensure smooth movement. If already clear, run a home checkup motor test. If Maxim is having electronic trouble, reset the bot by powering him off and back on. Press and hold the go button to do so. You may also need to perform a hard reset. Check out the hard reset video for instructions. For further assistance, please contact our helpful support team.